Hey guys, it's Laura. Welcome to leg day. We're gonna get you in and out in less than 30 minutes, okay? So you're gonna need a loop. I'm gonna be using a step, but you can use a chair or a weight bench, something to sit on, something to lean on, a couple of sets of dumbbells. We're gonna work the legs and the glutes. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, are you ready to get warmed up? I have my weights to the side. I'm using a step just so I don't have to constantly reach to the floor to grab my weights. You can use a chair or a bench or just put them on the floor. All right, so let's start off with body weight squats. Take your feet about hip width apart and then just sit back and come back up. So on your squat, you want to focus on sitting back into the hips, keeping the chest lifted. There's a natural lean there, but you don't want to add to it by leaning. You're trying to get your hips back and down. Those knees line up with the toes. So you're pressing outward with the knees, which will really emphasize when we grab that band here in a few seconds. Good, one more. And one. Okay, take your feet wider, knees and toes same angle. Come down, come up. So you want to feel that stretch in the inner thigh. Keep the chest lifted. So you want to make sure you're not so close that your knees are going out over your toes. Just turn it out. Try to get those hips down. Now you can be a little more upright on this version. Good, couple more. And one. Now we've got a lunge, so you're going to step back, reach, and then step in. Now take your time on this. Warming up through the hip flexor, the quad. You want that front knee to line up over your heel and not go forward as you go down. Good, one more. Bring it to center. Take your feet apart. Come down, flat back. Round, release your back. So you're tucking your pelvis under, and then you can arch the back or go to neutral. Keeping the abs engaged the whole time. Good, you should feel that low back warming up. Good, couple more. Last one. Now bring yourself up, shoulders stay back, chest lifted, slide down the legs so you feel that hamstring stretch, come back up. Now, if you have good flexibility in the hamstrings, feel free to go deeper. Just make sure you don't lose that shoulder alignment, so you don't want to ragdoll down, like taking a bow. That's why you keep the hands close to the legs. Good, couple more. Last one. And last move, take your feet farther apart and shift side to side. So side to side. Lean away from that straight leg. Feel that inner thigh, groin area stretch. We're just dynamically moving through that stretch. Shifting your weight back. You want to make sure you're not going forward into the knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide that in. Big inhale. Exhale. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the band and our dumbbells. So put the band, slide it on. Now, if you don't have a band, it's okay. You can do this without a band. You're going to step into the band. Make sure it's not around the joint itself. It's just above the knees. Okay? So we're going to start with one heavier weight. We're going to do a goblet squat. So you're going to hold that weight close to you. Now you're turning the knees and toes out and emphasizing that press out with the knees as you go down. So we're going to do this nice and slow. Okay, so sit back, pressing those knees out, and then coming back up. Pressing out with those knees. Now think of keeping the big toes down on the floor, but you don't want the arch of your foot caving in as you go down. So sit back. So as you go back, you're starting with that hip hinge as opposed to just bending the knee, right? And you want to avoid bowing. So keep the chest lifted. Again, pressing outward. Now, depending on that band, it may be a really tight band, it may be a really loose band. Just try to keep tension on that band. Keep my elbows in. You go as deep as you can. This is just our first set. So if you don't go as deep, it's okay. Keep the abs in, but you're not holding your breath. Good, you got one more. Very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take the mate to this dumbbell, keeping the band on, and I've got a deadlift, Romanian deadlift, so I've got a little bit of a bend in the knee. I'm still pressing outward against that band, shoulders back, slide down, and come back up. So you wanna keep the head and neck in line with the spine. So you don't wanna look up as you go down. Now I'm looking at you, but I want a nice straight line all the way down that spine. So if you're really tight in the hamstring, you may only be able to go to like the knees. Otherwise, add or aim for the mid shin. Keep those shoulders back and together. The natural tendency is to round the spine. But what you want to think is keeping those shoulder blades retracted, going as deep as you can, pressing to those heels, squeezing the glute. You're just coming to a neutral spine. You don't want to arch or hyperextend. So we're taking our time. You feel that stretch, keeping those shoulders back. Keep those shoulder blades together. Exhale, squeeze your glutes on the way up, just more. Last one. You got to keep thinking about those shoulders. And one. Set that down. Now you could hold 2 weights. We're going to go back to our goblet squat. So keeping it close. Roll those shoulders back. Turn the knees and toes out a little bit. And go. Up. Driving up. Or I should say driving down. Driving down into those heels, pressing outward with the knees. Take your time, go at your own pace. So watch those knees, don't let this happen, okay? If the band is too tight, take it off. Work on it without the band. It's just there to help you be mindful. Chest lifted, shoulders back. How are you feeling? Can you go a little bit deeper? Getting warmed up. Sitting back. Remember, back, back, back. Couple more. Last one. And we're going to go back to that deadlift. Grabbing the mate. Shoulders back and down. Slight bend in the knee. And go. So as you get warmed up, you may be able to go a little bit deeper range of motion. Keep that in line with the spine. You don't want to look up. You're looking slightly in front of you, keeping that same distance between your chin and your chest the whole time. Drive into those heels, squeeze your glutes on the way up. And here's your last one. And time. Okay, go ahead and set that down. Now you can, what I like about these is you can just step out of them. Okay, so we're gonna do stationary lunge. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. So I've got 2 12s just to give you an indication. Okay, so I like to start with my weaker side first. You're always gonna have a dominant side, but you don't wanna favor it. You wanna favor your weaker side. So I'm gonna put my left leg forward, my right leg back. Now think of your feet on railroad tracks. A lot of times people step too close together, too much in a line. Feet apart. Feet apart is going to give you wider base of support, a little bit easier to balance, although there is a balance component anyway. So this knee outward, and I'm taking my back knee toward the floor. Come back up. So I have a slight lean forward over that front leg, about 10 degrees. Pushing through that heel, but keeping the toes down on the floor. Now hopefully you're not on a floor where you're sliding. So watch that front knee. Your toes should not disappear from view. Go down, drive up. Watch that knee, make sure it doesn't cave inward. Last 2. Last 1. And step in. You are using both legs on that, so. So now we're on the stronger side. Feet apart, support, and go. Watching that front knee, it lines up over the heel, doesn't go forward as you go down. You want to go straight down and not forward into the toe. And push through the heel. Remember, you got that little 10-degree tilt over your front leg, drive into the heel. Trying to put a little more emphasis on that glute. They should feel the quad. And okay, so I'm gonna put one weight down. We're gonna superset that with a lateral lunge. You can use no weight. Of course, you can always go lighter. I'm gonna alternate sides. So I'm gonna step, sit back, come up. Step, sit back, come up. Are you ready? Okay. Doesn't matter which way you start, as long as you alternate. So I'm stepping out far enough where I feel a nice stretch on that straight leg. Going back into the heel. So my knee, my toe, same angle, mostly facing the front of the room. Sit back, keeping that weight high on the chest. Now, we do that so that you'll keep your chest lifted, because I don't want you rounding forward. Sitting back. Now I'm taking my time on this. Good, just a couple more each way. Lean into that. Push off that heel. One more each way. Okay, we're going back to that reverse lunge, or stationary lunge, I should say. Again, I'm starting on my left side. Totally up to you which side you want. You could even change it each time you do the workout. All right, so get those feet ready. Back heel is up, and come down, and up. So your goal is to be able to get that front thigh parallel. It might not happen today, but over time you want to get that front thigh parallel. If you need to hang onto a chair for your balance until you get stronger and more stable. That is okay. Just a couple more. How are you feeling? You've got this. One more. And in. You could be doing this with just body weight. If that's challenging enough for you, that is good. As long as it's challenging. Ready? And go. And up. Watching that front knee so it doesn't cave in. Nice and slow. We don't want to rush through these movements. It's not meant to be cardio. Three more. You feel a little wobbly? That's why I look down when I do it. It helps me balance. Okay, I think we got one more. And put one weight down. We got our lateral lunge, alternating. Now, if your heart rate's up, let it come down a little bit. You can always pause, catch your breath. Whenever you do legs, there's a lot of blood pumping, so it gets the heart rate up. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Sit back. Chest stays up. Now think about keeping the abs engaged the whole time. So when I say that, just be aware. Think of your abs and your back kind of like a corset or a girdle. It really is. And if you're not emphasizing like engaging your abs, your low back's gonna have to work harder. So you want to make sure you're balanced. How are you feeling? Good. Really sit out and back. Just two more each way. Little rest is coming. One more each way. Last one. All right, set that down. Okay, so our next exercise is a narrow stance squat. I'm not going to use the band on this one. I'm going to hold two dumbbells. Feet are inside hip width. Keep in mind that whenever you're in a narrower stance, you may not be able to go as deep, and that's okay. You do your best. So I'm grabbing my 15s. You can go heavier or lighter. Got 10 reps. Sitting back. Really lift that chest, okay? Sit back. And brace your core like that. I do find that some people get lightheaded breathing that way. So as long as you're breathing, that's all that matters. Just three more. Sitting back into the heels, keeping those toes down. Last one. I think I lied. Last one. And keep those shoulders back and down. Okay, so we did narrow stance, now we got wide stance, sumo. So I'm gonna hold one weight. You're welcome to hold two. I may hold two on the second set. We'll see. Knees and toes out. Okay, we did this in the warm-up. Shoulders back and down. Now this one you may be able to go a little bit deeper just because legs are opened up a little more. So get like you're pushing the floor away, because you are. You're pushing against gravity. So here's 7. 2 more. 1 more. And we got our narrow stance again. So I've got both my weights. I'll probably use both weights on the wide squat on my next one. Close together with the feet. Ready, go. So as you can see, when your feet are closer together, there's going to be a little bit more of that natural lean or the hinge to compensate. But just try to sit back and down. Do you feel your legs? I hope you do. Try to press evenly in both heels. I think you got 2 more. Last one. And we've got our wide squat. I'm gonna do both weights, like I said. You do you, okay? Depends on how you feel. Ready? And go. Yeah, much better. Get down there. You want those knees at the bottom lining up with your heels. Keep those shoulders back. Keep those abs in. I know I keep saying it, but it's so important. And set that down. Okay, so I'm going to use my step, my little mini step, like a chair. If you have a bench, you can use that. So I'm going to take my weight off of there. We've got hip abduction, AB, abduction. So again, depending on your band, that will kind of determine how challenging this exercise is. You can sit on the floor as well with your knees, your feet down and your knees up, that's okay. So you're gonna press out and in, but not all the way in. So we're pausing on the outside of that movement. We've got 15 of these, by the way. Full disclosure. Remember, when you bring it in, don't bring it all the way in to the point where you lose tension on that band. Keep constant tension. 9, you should feel the hips. 10. 11, make sure you're not slouching, you're sitting up tall. 12. 13. 14. I want you to hold this last one out there. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Press out, press out, press out. Don't come in, don't come in. And let it go. Rest for a second. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do twice as many. That's right, I said twice as many, but we're gonna go faster. There you go. Trade off. Ready? Go. Out, in, out, in. Open, close, open, close. Now, if you've got a really loose band, get out there. Get out there. 8, 9, 10. We're a third of the way there. Yes, you can. You can do this. Rest if you need to, though. 13. Jump back in. And make a note to yourself. As you do this workout again, did you get stronger? Did you have to rest later in the workout? You'll get better and better the more consistent you are. Okay, you only have 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel it. 5, 6, 7. Last one. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And release. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. Okay. Let's take that band off. Now, depending on the height, my step is kind of low, but I'm okay with that. The height of your bench or your chair, we're going to be leaning forward. You can also do this standing. I like to have a flatter back. So I'm gonna bend my right leg. My left leg is back, and I'm gonna lift and lower. We've got 10 on each leg. Are you ready? And go. So Pause, squeeze the glute, and down. Touching the toes so you get a little more range of motion. So I have a bend in this knee. Now, if you need to be taller, that feels better, you do that. Just 4 more, then I'll let you stand up. 1, 2, you're gonna feel both sides. 3, last one, 4. Okay, slowly stand up. So you may find that you need to be higher or lower, like I said, and that's okay. You could use an ankle weight. Come back down. We're gonna go to the other side. We ready? Go. We got 10 reps. Up and down. So think like you have a string on the back of your knee and it's pulling toward the ceiling. Use your glute to make that movement. So we're keeping it nice and slow because I don't want you using momentum to raise that leg. So 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, roll yourself up. Have a seat. We're gonna do a quick stretch. Now, we're doing a seated stretch just so we can get a little bit deeper into that stretch. So I'm gonna take my right leg, I'm gonna put the side of my foot on my thigh, and I'm putting a little bit of gentle pressure on that knee. And you should feel a little bit of a stretch right away. If you're very tight, you may feel it right there. But lean forward from the hips. So that means don't do this, but tip forward, simultaneously, gentle pressure, okay? Should feel good, nice hip stretch. So you can lean a little bit more without rounding your spine. This is a good one to do when you wake up in the morning. If you ever feel tight, you can do more of a dynamic version going in and out. Static stretching you want to do at the end of the workout. Okay, go ahead and put that foot down. Take it out in front of you, flexing that toe. Hinge again. Now you don't want to put any pressure on the knee. Flexing so you feel that hamstring, you feel that calf. You can kind of turn that foot in or out, find that spot. So, you may have one spot that's tighter than the other. Okay, slide that in. Sit up really tall, hand on the opposite thigh. Inhale, exhale, and twist. So you want to make sure you're lifted before you twist. You don't want to be slouching and twisting. So every time you exhale, see if you can go a little bit further, but you never force it, of course. And bring it to center. We're going to start all over on the other side. So do that. Glute hip stretch. Gentle pressure. Remember, you have the side of your shoe on your thigh, not your ankle. Tip forward from the hip. Now this is my tight side, so I feel this pretty quickly. You might too. You might have one side that's really tight. Take slow, even breaths, and as you exhale, try to relax into it a little bit more. You don't want to tense up or it's not going to relax, obviously. That makes sense, right? Okay, take that foot down, straight out, flexing that toe. Come forward, give yourself some back support so you're not just hanging in space. Pull that toe back, no pressure on the knee. Sometimes if you flex the opposing muscle, in this case the quad, you may feel a deeper stretch in that hamstring. Slide that in. Sit up really tall, hand on the opposite thigh. Big inhale, exhale, and twist. breaths. How do you feel? Do you feel like you did enough weight? If you felt like you could have gone heavier to make it a little more challenging, do that next time. Progressive overload is really important to get stronger over time. Bring it to center, over to the side stretch. So I have my hand here to help support me, and I'm keeping that hip on the chair step. Other way. So I'm pressing down as I reach over. Now center it up. Big inhale. Exhale. Good job. I know you did awesome. I will see you next time.